Hi everybody, this is Connie from Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. Today I am taking part in the Try It Tuesday that Sammie from Unicorn Dust Design does, and her co-host is Angie, the Redheaded Scrapper. So let's get right into these projects. Project number 1. I got a frame from the Dollar Tree and I had printed off the old rugged cross off of my computer, the sheet music, and I got one piece of scrapbooking paper out of my stash and a couple of large popsicle sticks. Okay, so you saw I took it apart. Now that frame does not look like an old rugged anything, so I'm taking my white chalk paint that I make and I am putting it all over this, and I do 2 coats of this white paint just to take care of and hide all of that gold. We don't want that showing at all. And in between all of the coats, I'm going to grab my heat gun and I'm going to dry this paint fairly quickly. So once I get this all done, I'm going to grab my Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to put that on this frame and then wipe it back off with a paper towel, and that gives it a very aged look, and that's what I was going for. I want this to be very rugged and very aged and rustic. So I'm just going to go over all of this, the inside, outside, and the top of the frame to give it that really rugged look. Okay, now I'm taking those 2 popsicle sticks. I took my mitered shears. I'm sorry you can't see me very well, but it wasn't cutting the way I wanted it to cut. So I just grabbed my scissors and I'm just cutting the ends off of the popsicle sticks, or the thumb depressors, or the craft sticks, however you want to call it. And I'm taking the antique wax again and I'm just going to put it all over these sticks and wipe them back off. And then I decide they're not quite rugged looking enough. So after that, then I am going to grab some black acrylic paint and I'm just going to put a little bit on that. These just looked a little too perfect. Don't really wanted to make them look rough. So like I said, I'm just taking some of this and I'm just dry brushing this black on. That's going to give it a lot of contrast to the frame as well as to the sheet music. So and then I'm going to take a little bit of white and just barely kiss the surface with that white, just to give it plenty of dimension. So now I'm just putting a little bit of that dry brushing and a little bit of that black on the frame as well, because I want to get that to look really old, not like polished and like perfect. So now I'm going to take the backing of the frame and I'm going to trace around it and cut that out so that it will fit in there. And then I'm going to grab my sheet music and I'm just tearing very roughly around the edges because I want it to look really old and weathered. And that's a clean piece of white paper, so I'm going to age that as well so that this looks really, really rough. And I just keep tearing until I like the way it fits on that paper, so that it will fit in the frame the way I wanted to. And this, I got the the inspiration for the Old Rugged Cross from Amazon.com. I saw this on their website and I really liked it. So this isn't exact, this is just sort of close. So here I'm taking a little bit of paint, and I'm just barely kissing the edges with and it's actually not paint, that's antique wax. And I'm just barely putting a little bit on there just to rough it up. And then I'm going to grab my glue stick, and I'm just going to very generously put plenty of glue on there, and it sticks really good. So then I'm going to go ahead and put it in the frame, the glass and the backing, and then we're going to flip it over, and I'm going to grab those sticks. Now I'm going to make a cross out of it, so I'm going to have to cut pieces of it, but it's too long, so I'm cutting off part of it, and then I'm going to cut in between, and I'm making the markings right there so that I can cut those into two pieces, so that when I glue it, it glues flat so that it's not lifted up. And I'm just going to be gluing those together as well as right on that glass. Now that little piece, I cut that in half so I can use it for strength behind it, as well as I'm going to be putting another piece so it's all level. And I'm taking some baling wire, and I'm just making a little wreath out of it, so it's just really uneven and makes it look more like the crown of thorns without the thorns, but really rough. And as you can see, I'm just forming it right into that little circle. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue the cross on, and then I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to put all the braces on it. You can see where I'm doing that right there, as well as I'm going to be putting some other ones just so that it's not away from the glass everywhere else. So I'm just going to glue that on and get that all done. And don't forget to go down to the description box. Down there is Sammie's link to her channel, as well as Angie's link to her channel and the playlist, and then all of the links. My link tree will be there, and all the tools I use will be in there, and you can just click on it. It takes you to my Amazon storefront, and you can order the stuff right through there. Okay, now I am gluing that on, and then I'm going to glue that little wreath on. Now the inspiration had a bow, and I chose not to put a bow on this. I liked just the way it looks, and I end up putting a little loop on the back of jute so that it can be hung up as well. So here is the inspiration piece, and then here is my piece. I hope you guys like it. Now let's get right on to DIY number 2. Okay, I'm taking what is it? A canvas board, and then this flower. It was a flower pick, an outside pick from the Dollar Tree, and I made that blue. I took blue, a little bit of green and white, and mixed that blue up, and I pulled all the leaves kind of away from each other so that I could get in there and get that blue completely on it. And I end up doing 2 coats, and I'm using my Darcy heat gun so that it dries pretty fast. And this was an inspiration from actually Sammie from Unicorn Dust Designs, our host. This is something she made a week or so ago, and I just fell in love with it. And I already had that flower, so I thought that's what I'm going to be doing with this flower. So she was definitely, I was inspired by her. And of course, it's not exact, but boy, it's beautiful in the end anyway. So once I get that completely covered, I kept seeing little pink poking through, and I had to keep covering it and drying it. And then once I get it all finished, I'm going to coat matte Mod Podge over it to seal it, because that is wood. I mean, that's not wood, that's metal, and it will chip off. So I went ahead and put a generous coat of the Mod Podge over this so that it will not chip off. Now with the canvas mat board, that's what we're going to be connecting it to. And I just got some blue denim ribbon and some burlap blue polka dot, and then some burlap ribbon. So I'm just and I had painted this also white, and I'm just gluing that on. And then I'm going to grab I was trying to decide, do I want to do burlap on there? But then I grabbed my burlap. Actually, I did put that on there. I forgot I had done that. Duh. I put the burlap on there as well. And then I'm going to grab my burlap, my white ribbon. It's actually not burlap. It's just white ribbon with blue polka dots. But first I'm using 2 little Jenga blocks or tumbling tower blocks, and I'm gluing that on the back so that it has something to stick to. Now here's my polka dot ribbon. Now it's too wide, so I decide to cut the wires off and then cut it straight down the center so that it just has a strip down the center. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that on there just like the other ones. And then I'm going to take my just the ribbon, and I'm going to make this blue ribbon, and I'm going to make a bow for the top. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, and if you hit twice, you can choose to do all. That way, you'll be notified every time I upload. And also give me a big thumbs up. I sure do appreciate it, and I love the comments. This all helps my channel grow so I can continue bringing you content. So there is that bow, and I'm just fluffing it up and just put it right on the top there. And then that is the jute that I'm going to hook on the back of this so that it can be hung. And this was Sammie's, and this was my inspiration, and then this is mine. I hope you guys really like this one. And let's get on to DIY number 3. Now this was an inspiration from, it's called startathomedecor.com. This is not exactly, it just gave me an inspiration. I took the 2 little bird houses from Dollar Tree, and a dowel from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just painting these in a blue and like a light turquoise on the body, and then the roof and the base is going to be white. And I'm going to use my miter shears and cut them not exactly in half, one smaller than the other, and I'm just painting it with the white paint. Then I'm going to grab some floral foam from the Dollar Tree, that block, and I'm just going to cut it and fit it into those little tiny pots, because I painted those the same color as the body of the bird houses as well. And I'm just trimming that off until they fit snug down into that little pot. And I grabbed some Spanish moss as well. And I'm just going to, I didn't show it, but I drilled a small hole in the bottom of each one of these houses where the dowel would fit right into there. And I just used hot glue to secure the dowels in there. And now I just grabbed some leaves and some little bit of floral, small little tiny pink flowers and white flowers, and I'm just using my hot glue and a gun, and I'm just putting that Spanish moss right in there, and then I'm going to start gluing in the leaves and then the little flowers. And like I said, this is not an exact, I get inspiration from people and then I recreate it my own way. So here's those little pink flowers from the Dollar Tree. I thought I was going to do white, but I decided not to. So I'm just doing these little pink ones, and I cut them right down so there's no stem. So these are really close to the pot. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just gluing these all on and just making it nice and springy looking. So I hope you guys really enjoy this. And like I said, don't forget to click on the description box and go click on that playlist and just follow along and see all the creators. And this is that was the inspiration, and these are mine. And that one looks like it's tipped over and it was on an uneven space. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you will come back and check out some more of my videos at another time. And as I say at the end of every one of my videos, be the Bible that somebody reads today, and you all have a blessed day. A blessed week, actually. Bye-bye.